times.
Yeah, that's true.
I never do that, but I've heard it.
Do you know what? I do have a tendency of miking up, I guess.
You do, if it's
But
like stuff you like to
That's
just get
good.
a bit touchy-feely.
Yeah, but thankfully...
Consent! Don't know we're signing for
I
this.
did the same thing. I did the same thing. With,
When you did it with the
Coles.
Kyra.
Yeah, even the Kyra.
The guy was like, can I touch you?
I didn't know how to approach it. Like, do you mind if I just fix the mic?
But I think it's better if you, because I noticed like in the 2 episodes ago, and when I did my podcast, he put his own mic on and he fucked up. And I'm like, I should have just put it on.
Yeah.
Put it like far too down.
Yeah, I think we're good.
That's an awful coffee, that, you know.
Damn.
I check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Oh,
It's a-
table check.
Yeah, table's
Okay,
kind
so
of
the table's
kind of
critical.
risky.
Whilst you're here, if you could fix it, that would be lovely, Nima.
Sure.
Anyway, that was so lovely. Okay.
I'll take a look. The classic.
Going back to no table.
I tried. There's missing
You tried?
tools. There's missing
Oh.
tools.
What's missing?
Everything.
Everything that makes it steady.
But somehow I will just figure it out.
Good luck.
You said yes and a half
I've
without
tried it.
understanding the issues.
Yeah.
Sure.
Sounds
I
like
tried
me.
it. I ended up fixing the bike instead.
Oh,
That was
so
a lot
great.
of fun.
That's good. You have to fix something.
Basically. So since you're here, good luck, brother.
I'll fix something else.
Okay.
But nah, I guess that was. I guess, excuse me. Yeah, I guess that was the intro. I guess since we do intros.
What's the intro?
You rolling?
Yeah, I guess that was we're rolling. Sorry,
Cool.
bro. I just didn't want to interrupt the conversation because it was flowing
good.
and the energy is right, which means welcome back.
Yeah.
And
Thank you. Glad
Yeah.
to be here again
yeah,
with you guys.
Oh yeah, sorry. Welcome to episode 18 of Why We're Not Recording This.
18.
Yeah, 18.
Great going.
And guess what? Yeah, thank you, sir.
Great going.
But yes, Nima's here. Think Nima, and
What's up?
we've also introduced Housekeep, and Housekeep is pretty much talking to the viewers, saying like, comment, and subscribe. We'd
Do
be
that
really appreciate it. So yeah, that's gonna
Subscribe.
be
for sure.
that's the Housekeep. That's what we're gonna incorporate from now on. Because we were saying it at the end.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it was working because it's like
Oh yeah. Did
People.
you make it that far?
Yeah, for sure.
I didn't want to say that, but yeah,
gotta
did you
keep it
make
real.
it? Yeah, no, that's true though. But yeah, so
Do that right now.
Yeah, excuse me.
But if you listen on Spotify, then
Log into YouTube real quick.
add it to your playlist. Log into YouTube real quick. Press the love heart.
Oh, yeah.
Share with your friends. Share with your mum.
Oh, we are proper plugging this episode.
Put on your
We
story.
not
Share with your
even-
friends.
And while you add it, find Think Nima and do the same.
Yes.
I would appreciate that.
Follow. Check his
Yeah,
podcast
and to be
out.
fair,
Thank you.
actually, let's put the link, Nima's link, under. Oh no, not here. No. As it in the comment. That's gonna be way too long. It's not gonna fit.
Next to your part as well.
Yeah, no,
Oh yeah.
I just thought like the description.
Oh.
Yeah, the description exactly. So
Okay.
in the description,
Okay. Yeah.
just so
Yeah.
you can click subscribe, like,
Cool.
and check out his
Yeah.
podcast. Speaking of podcast, I enjoyed one today, and it was one of yours.
Yeah, thanks, man.
So I guess since you've been in London, a lot has changed,
A lot has changed.
and one of them being you found your center.
Yeah.
Do you remember last time you was here?
Bass,
Maybe-
you know?
Yeah,
Bass.
found your
I
bass.
found the bass, bro. Damn. The people that watched the previous episode, it's gonna feel like we've come a long way, and we have.
And yeah, go on.
Yeah, I'm living in a house with 3 other guys. Pretty good house, good location. Just enjoying London in general. I thought it would be more difficult to settle and find a base, just because of how chaotic and big London is. But I think I was lucky with the housemates, just because they know other people they're introducing me to, and they're cool guys themselves. And other people I know in London, other friends, my brother. Between all of those, like, a base is formed.
Yeah.
Um,
So it was easy to
Yeah.
translate
I think I got
who
lucky.
you are in that space.
Yeah, for sure. And also I pushed it too. I think there was an element of intention involved as well. That like,
Okay.
I'm gonna make this shit work. Like, new start, and let me just like go all in. Yeah, like with the podcast, I included, for example, doing video as well as audio. Because
Yeah.
first it was just audio, So thanks.
Props.
So I was like, okay, let's just do it properly, video and get mics and yeah, that's all I'll say for now. But I could talk for a while, but yeah,
Okay. No, it's
London's been cool.
Yeah. No, that's nice. Like, cause it's funny because if you think about it, well, I like to think of the year in quarters. I think I've told you this before, how I think of it in quarters. And I just feel like right now, not that it's a timestamp, well, it is, but it's a timestamp for the start of the second half. So it's like how, okay, for me anyway, it's like I carrying that momentum from that first half into the next one and finishing this half strong. So yeah, no, man, that's nice because it's like last time around, I think it was the first quarter. That's when you were in between and trying to find your pace.
Yeah.
So now, seeing you in
true.
this second half, you look good. It's like, ooh, you better finish the year strong, boy.
Yeah, no, the momentum is a thing. No, yeah, I've just been pushing on all sorts of different aspects. So yeah, podcast was in one. Just yeah, again, video, but also just like reaching out to more people. DMing people, like artists that I've been following for a while, asking them, what's the worst that can happen? You're gonna know, right? Or they stop talking to you, but
that part.
who's this weird guy that's asking for podcasts? But no, I've just been like reaching out more to people, trying to get guests. The art as well, I've been pushing more with that, and that's been intentional too. Thank you. Yeah, the art's been cool. The art's been really fun.
Can I just do a better job of that than you've just done by saying the art's cool?
Some light.
The art's been phenomenal to witness. Like, not
Thanks.
only have you kind of like pushed your craft in terms of how you're animating and elevating the style in which you're playing with, like you're being really experimental with it. So like your motion is not just motion anymore, it's like motion, you know what I mean? Like there's more elements coming together on the page, but it still has your authentic stamp. Plus poetry on top of it.
Yeah, that's true. I forgot about
Nima,
poetry.
you've been hitting us with a
So, oh yeah, I do
jab.
that too. Like, oh yeah, some like
Yeah, you've been punching us in the face with your creativity at the
Got
minute.
triggered.
And it's been amazing.
It's not meant to be a punch, by the way.
It's been a, it's
Just
been
expressing
a,
myself.
It's an attack on senses. It's been lovely. But where's that coming from?
Where's that coming from? Just expressing everything I have, like everything I have within me, like, and there's a lot. Yeah, I mean, poetry I've been writing for a while. Poetry I've been writing for years. Like, I think like first piece of poetry I wrote properly was like 2019, and it was on and off. And then recently, yeah, it has been on and off in general, until the point where I was like, again, it sort of lined up with my move to London, because after that, I just had some new energy. And that new energy, I was like, okay, how can I take my art to the next level? I got a bunch of poetry. I've shared them before in like open mic nights, I've just posted it on my story and stuff, or like on Twitter. And each time I get a good reception, and people say, oh, these are like amazing, or you should do something with them. I didn't know what to do, but then I was like, let me just mix it with art. Seems like quite a natural step. I don't know why it like took me so long, but yeah, I just started. Like I just took some old poems that I had or new ones, and I tried to like look at what the sort of idea was around that poem, and if I can translate that into imagery. And sometimes it goes the other way around too. I'll make an artwork, and instead of giving it a title, I'm like, let me just see if I can write a poem.
It's like what words do you get from? Just
yeah. I'll just start with like whatever comes to mind, and I've tried to be very flexible with it, and that's something that I like about my own creative process since the start. Is because like
you gotta like it. It's yours.
yeah, I guess so. But it's one thing I do like about it is I don't really care too much about like official restrictions or where it's supposed to be, like how many stanzas does this poem supposed to have, or was an artwork?
Structure.
Yeah, typical structure of artwork or poetry or anything that I do. Really, I don't really care too much about that. I'm just like, let me do my thing.
It feels way more personal than anything. Well, maybe it's obvious, but it seems way more personal, and it feels like even though you're, like, how many miles away is London? 300 miles?
Got 300, 400.
327?
Actually,
However many
297.
miles away, seeing this artwork almost is like, it feels like a check-in point with you. Because when you read the poetry, it's kind of like, whether it's old poetry or new poetry, the artwork plus the poems changes how you take in the artwork. And so you can kind of see where your brain is at and where your head is at. Because there's some poems which are like, I don't know if he's having a good day.
dark. Some stuff is dark.
Yeah,
sure.
but then you can kind of see like shifts during like during a fortnight. You can kind of see like, oh, okay, this is uplifting. It's a really nice thing to be a part of in terms of like just witnessing the process, which is powerful. It's a powerful thing to say about someone's artwork because especially on social media, it can be such a throwaway thing. But yeah, it just feels like you're putting a bit of your soul into it, even if that's in a caption, which is just wild.
And you know what it made me think? I know we're talking about you here, but like, you know, it made me think about your emotional state when you moved to London and in and around the period. Do you think it like forced you to express yourself in such a way, or it made you be in search of self? So therefore, it's resulting in this expression of beep it, why not?
Yeah.
Shout out November 5th.
Shout out November 5th. No, I think it definitely did propel me, my emotional state at the time. Yeah, when you have things to process, I think that can be used as fuel. And if you've had big events happen, or if I've had big events happen, I can only speak for myself, but that can be used as fuel. But it might not be straight away. Sometimes it is, but sometimes you might just need to like realize the magnitude of the amount of things that you're carrying.
Just marinate.
Yeah, let it marinate for a bit. But then I think after that, if you have creative tendencies or if you like to express yourself, you can definitely use experiences that need processing as fuel to express yourself. And yeah, that's definitely what I was doing too. Yeah, and no, it's interesting about like the perception of it from your guys. And like the way you're saying it, it is obviously very personal. And like I know that because some of the poems I write, that was another thing I had to like let go of, like the perception of it.
Yeah.
And there's another like fear I had to sort of, I have to gradually, continually give up. It's like the reception of it because some of it, it's like more. It's just as personal as a journal entry. Yeah. But I just thought, you know, you gotta be vulnerable. Like I don't know, I like being vulnerable sometimes. I think if you want to be I don't know, I feel like vulnerable art is sometimes the most true art. But sometimes there's like the fear of perception around it, or like what people are gonna think, or something I had to deal with was like, is this too dark? Is this too dark for Instagram? For sure. No, like that's a...
No, let's cancel him. Ooh.
For sure, like...
Is this too dark for Instagram?
Yeah, for sure. Like, because some of the poems are dark. Sorry, I got something in my eye.
It's too dark.
I think that's my eyes are closed, yeah. No, I think it's cool.
Are you sure we don't...
Thank you.
It's a bit like... It's a bit
got an issue? Here's a tissue.
Sorry. I'm not crying. I'm just...
What? Say sorry, I was still recording. Oh,
you need a tissue.
No, here's
Why
a
has that
tissue.
never been used as a slogan before?
Prince has probably used it in a box.
It came from someone.
Oh God, I'm definitely writing that on that tissue box. That's lovely.
Got an issue. Well,
Okay.
What was I saying?
Too dark for Instagram.
Too dark for Instagram. Yeah, no, dark art and dark poetry and dark expression is a thing. I think some of the most real stuff is dark. And when you're like, let's say you're in a bad spot, and let's say I don't know if you're that type, but if you listen to sad music when you're sad.
okay, wait. So sorry, I'm just like caught up on the definition of dark, because I feel like I'm gonna take it away from what was being said, just because I'm stuck on.
It's a good thing to define, yeah.
But like, because I also feel like it's probably subjective. But like, when you say dark, are you saying like unfiltered, just like your unfiltered thoughts that you didn't really think how they're gonna be received, or what do you mean by dark?
No, so unfiltered, I would say like raw, but I try to let it be unfiltered and well, I don't try it to be dark, but if it's dark, I'll just let it be as it is. By dark, I mean it has elements of sadness, it has elements of difficult things to talk about, depression, whatever it is, things that we all deal with, but that they're hard to deal with, or they're hard to talk about. Yeah, that's how like elements of sadness.
Okay.
But it's not just like sadness for the sake of it. It's sadness because that's what was true at the time. Like you're feeling something, you're sad, or you're in a bad spot, or you're struggling in some way. And I express something that comes out of that. I'm like, that's very raw. But also the rawness means that it's hella sad, because I was hella sad when I wrote this.
There's an element of darkness in it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then at the same time, like, that's beautiful. Like it captures a moment of the human experience. Like, so why should I not release this or share this just because it's sad? And so those were some things I have had to battle, like those thoughts in my own head of like, I don't know, because people are scrolling Instagram or they're just kind of like one funny videos and shit, and there's me like, bam, here's a piece about, here's a piece about.
I'm sad today.
I'm sad. I'm so
But you know
very,
what?
very sad.
Like we laughing, but like I'm really tying it back into your emotional state, because to me, all you're saying, the only equation to get that result is if you reach a point of, you know what, I've got nothing to lose.
It's a hard point to get to, though, isn't it? Like,
yes and
nothing
no,
to
but
lose
sometimes I
because-
feel like it takes trauma for it to happen. Because
I feel like when it's the three of us, we always talk about trauma and like darkness and
Get down to the deep.
so this is the darkness. Oh, gotcha.
I feel like it's trauma.
No,
But
'cause-
seriously, yeah, go on.
No, because like I'm thinking like everything that Nima's saying, based on what happened around November 5th. Well, we had the exhibition, but prior to that,
Yeah.
my uncle passing, meaning there's a lot going on in your head, and I guess if you express yourself a certain way, those elements are actually going to get heightened. So now it depends on, well, I guess it depends on your vice, because if your vice is, no, I'm just going to go drink, and maybe not going to be highlighted. I don't know how it works. Yeah, I don't know. But in terms of this, because something terrible happened and you just like processing, and then at the same time you question who self is within the midst of things.
Yeah.
And then it's almost like your solitude, or you feel okay when like, you know, I'm just going to express myself.
Yeah.
So what does it mean? It means I'm just going to do whatever I want. Hence why we ended up here with Nima mixing poetry and his digital art, which has always been there. Yeah, go on, sorry.
No, that's the philosophy though, that I'm gonna do whatever I want. Because like, you just gotta trust that like that's where the best art comes from as well. Like if you look at some of the most revolutionary artists, I don't think they were constraining themselves to limits.
They were not in good ways. They were not.
And
in
that.
good ways.
Some of them were
The
questionable.
standard, like the
So no questionable.
the standard level of being alive.
What's up?
The sky looks so blue right now. Sorry, that really, really distracted me. Sorry. But what just existing as a human can operate on just this like plane of like, okay, I just feel all right, and then something terrible happens, or something upsetting happens, or something bad happens. That's like a shock to the system, and I feel like because you're like in the middle of like a reset, it's a perfect time to start making, because you're not really ever in that kind of zone on a day-to-day basis. So to create and make artwork is like another version of you who's creating and making this. I don't know, I just think it can conjure up some stuff that the day-to-day you would never have
I hear you, because I feel like even as little as I'm actually alive, because sometimes I feel, I know we're all alive, like as we're speaking right now, but it's also the element of, oh snap,
Yeah.
I'm alive. I'm
alive,
actually like, oh, raw, okay, gotta do something. Not that we...
But how crazy is that? It just takes something to remember that it's like, I have free will.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I can do whatever I want.
Yeah.
Just not at the expense of anyone. Like, I'm not saying God and stuff. I gotta put the disclaimer.
How are you gonna let me do that face and then say stabbing? And I'm like, well.
You gotta assume your audience has a certain level of intelligence.
No, assumptions make an of
That's true.
you and me. So
That's true.
it's kind of like general knowledge. It's not
stop.
always.
Don't stop, yeah.
Just please.
But yeah, no. But ultimately, names like it's nice to have you back here.
Thank you.
for whatever duration
likewise.
you're here, especially in the second half. Because, like I said, like there's been an element of reflecting in the past couple. I feel like we're always reflecting.
We're always reflecting.
Yeah, but I feel like
Yeah.
it's well, the second half of the year just started, and then I'm reflecting. Like, alright, so where's this at? Where's this at? How's the year going? I'm enjoying it so far. Alright, let's keep at it. When it's fixed here and there, where are the loose ends? Where's the idle time? And then I fix up, look sharp. That is all really. So yeah, to see Nims in good spirits, it's like he's already fixed up, look sharp. Because now he's the one. Man. To give you props, it is inspiring.
Yeah,
And
it
I mean,
is.
it is beautiful
you.
to see.
Thank you.
It's also inspiring, and that's what I like. Okay, now I'm gonna talk Slang Collective. It's that unspoken competition that exists, but it's not really competition amongst each other, but it's almost like someone is doing something. It's also like, you know what, I'm gonna do mines. Like, you know what I mean? Because like you was doing that. So like it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it is.
Like it's a beautiful thing. It's like, you know what, yeah, I'm gonna express myself.
That's what I love about the group chat. The group chat is the most wholesome thing in the world.
Yeah.
Like it's like do you know if you make some stuff at school and you bring it home and you're excited to show your parents. You're like, I made this thing.
Look what I did.
And everyone's like, amazing.
It's true, yeah.
Yeah.
But the number of flowers given in that chat is a very stunning thing.
Yeah.
No,
I
it is
really
inspiring
like
to
it.
see everyone doing their thing.
Yeah.
For sure.
And right now it feels like everyone is doing their thing or finding their feet and trying their thing, but everyone's elevating. Like you can feel it in the air that like every single one of us is elevating, and I just think we need to remember like this kind of network that we have right now is not a common thing.
Yeah,
I
for
keep
sure.
catching myself and being like, oh yeah, this is not everybody has.
Can't take it for granted.
And
Yeah, exactly.
you can't take it
That's
for
what I'm trying to
granted, but at the same time, I feel like it does exist somewhere.
Of course
Like,
it does.
Sure. Yeah.
But it's not a commonplace.
It's not a commonplace, but I think it's common for us because of, I guess, our brain chemistry and how we operate. Because in another realm, there's people who enjoy whatever, and they kind of click on that.
Yeah.
So they can argue like, yo, like imagine like other people that don't have this type of friend. Let me say there's a mix of friends that do different things. It's
Different
like,
focal points
exactly.
like, that they gather around.
Yeah, and I think on our focal points, it's more so self-improvement, which is beautiful to
expression.
see. Yeah, exactly. Self-improvement and expression. So hence why I feel like that's the common unspoken about goal that we have. And that's also based on me just observing everyone. And that's why it's like nice to see names. Like, I know what, halftime's been good. Like, yes. So yeah, no, it's a beautiful thing. And
thank God, honestly. Thank God for it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How so? Like that was quite deep. Like that was.
It is. No, I'm just like, I've been also very trying to be grateful every day for it all. And yeah, like giving credit where it's due, which is to the divine. Like, and maybe, I don't know, too spiritual or not, but
No, so it's never too spiritual here, because that's the thing, right? Going back to everyone observing and self-improvement is we do believe that thing you just mentioned does exist.
Yeah.
So we never really ignore it.
No.
It's like, oh, take us in that realm. Let's see what did you find down there?
yeah, for sure.
What did you find in your self-exploration down
Yeah.
there?
I mean, I feel like all art comes from there. Like it comes from yourself, obviously, but you are connected to the divine. And I feel like when a great artwork is made, I literally thank God after I make a great artwork. I'm like, thank you for that. And it's just like a positive force in the world. And I feel that, like if it's like a genuine artwork or a genuine thing, piece of expression, I think it deserves that credit.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
And when you start giving credit, it's so easy to see like how much of it there is to be grateful for, thankful for, and it becomes the tiny little things like having water. Do you know what I mean? Like having a drink of water sometimes is like, oh my God, thank you so much.
For sure.
Yeah. So I like that, being grateful of all the things.
Yeah.
But like, sorry, Names, you said something about the divine and art comes from the divine. So what about those people who feel like they're not artistic? Are you telling me they're not connected to the divine?
Oh no.
I'm so soft.
Oh no.
No.
Sorry.
I like your question. No, I like these questions. I think everyone is connected
You
to
brought
divine.
us to the spirit world.
I don't think there's anyone that's not connected to divine. I think everyone is connected to divine because divine is everything.
Yeah.
I think people that, I mean, I don't know what people are like. I'm not a people knower, but but I feel like, as for my own experience of like when I started being creative, and before that I just wasn't creative at all, which was like it happened when I was 20 years old. I feel like the thing that was making me not be creative, like I was still connected to divine, but the thing that wasn't allowing me to be artistic was just like mostly psychological, emotional
Insecurity, would you say that?
blockages. I'd say blockages. Things that just were in the way of the flow. And it took, I think it's just like usually I think the antidote to that, to like unblocking, is just like being truthful with yourself. I think that's the basics of it, my hypothesis anyway.
Yeah, but
I think that's where it starts unclogging a bit.
yeah, and when you say being truthful, what do you mean by being truthful? Sorry, I'm just like nitpicking.
No, do it, please. Yeah.
Yeah, but like
Tear me to pieces. Man.
no, like damn, time out. I don't do that. Cheers.
thought.
I wasn't even thinking about it. What are you thinking about? Metaphysically tear me to pieces.
Today.
No,
What do you-
like-
what do you mean by
No, because I just mean like, because I feel like language is a funny thing, and language is typically molded by our conditioning. So sometimes we use certain words because
like
they
tear
make.
me. Or,
Sorry.
like tear me. Or
See, see, yes. Yes.
what was your original question?
The original question. Wait, what did you say prior to that? Damn, like we just.
I lost it too. I lost it as well. No,
I'm just thinking-
Get it back.
It was.
You're telling me about the divine,
Uh-huh.
and then we went
If
on.
people aren't connected to the divine, are they connected to something else? Nima said, "Oh no." Then
You remember that?
Blockages. You said what does being truthful mean?
truth.
Yes, sorry, yes, yeah. Sorry, when you say, you know what? That was a tea break. And that was too messy. That was a tea break.
That was so messy. It's unbelievable.
The little.
Okay.
Right, so yes. And me back, following on from just, sorry, we cut off. Take 3. This is going to be so messy. All
Alright,
right.
truthfulness.
Okay, yeah, and we back, yeah. Truthfulness, man. What does, like, to you, what does it mean being truthful to yourself? Because I feel like sometimes I do question that. Because it's like, yes, it's connected to the divine, or I tend to kind of, I feel like it makes sense if you connect it to the divine, but that's also like, what's your purpose? And then it's like, there's a bigger question to that. But like, to you, what does it mean, like, truthfulness, like being truthful to yourself? Is that being harsh to yourself, or is that you acknowledging your own existence? Or like, what does it look like to you?
I would say definitely not being harsh, but it's more on the acknowledgement, admitting. I think admitting is like the key word that stands out for me, for being truthful to yourself. Because admitting is like you already know, but you just haven't admitted something. Like you already know it, you just haven't explicitly said to yourself, this is the case, by the way. And I think that situation goes on a lot in life for a lot of people. And obviously I can speak for myself only, but that's happened to me tons. And I can just see how those situations turn up a lot in life, where you might be reluctant to admit something to yourself, whether it's you're in the wrong career path, or you're in the wrong relationship, or you're in the wrong pursuit of sorts, or friendship group, or any sort of thing. And I think it starts with intuition as well. I think being truthful.
Sorry, go on.
A lot of times I think being truthful.
So you said intuition. That was amazing. Right. Sorry.
I think it starts with intuition though. So I don't think, obviously it can also include analytical, just like analytical way of looking at your life, writing it down intellectually and all that, what makes sense, what doesn't. But also I think the main thing is intuition. where you just, a lot of times you know something, whether something is right for you or it isn't. I think that's like one of the most fundamental parts of it. It's like when you're in a situation or pursuit or any sort of endeavor, and there's just like a feeling where it's telling you yes or no, good or bad. This is good for me. This isn't good for me. And then I think it's admitting to that feeling. And the thing is, and I've noticed this again in myself, but the times where you don't admit and you keep going with that sort of not admitting, that voice gets quieter and quieter and quieter. But I've never noticed it die. I don't think the voice ever dies. But I think it can get really quiet. And so if you have pushed it down a lot, I think the task is to like listen to it, trying to find it. And sometimes it will be like a whisper. It will be so quiet. You push it down so much. But then if you start following that voice again, it gets louder and louder and louder. And I think being truthful, that's what I think of as being truthful. Like just like finding that voice, that in your voice of intuition, following that voice, and then ultimately is embodying that voice.
Do you think it always breeds change?
I think if you're living in a non-truthful, untruthful way, and then you start listening to your truthful voice, then yeah, it probably will.
Okay.
But it includes all sorts of stuff. It also includes courage, which is another thing. Because even like deciding to listen to that voice, if it's been pushed down a lot, I think even that decision to find it and listen to it takes courage. And then almost every decision after that also takes courage. And now you've heard it for the first time, you might be like, damn, that was a lot. Let me just go back to my sleepwalking. But I think it takes more courage again. Now that you've listened to it. But also it gets easier to go back to it once you've listened to it again. So that the second time will be a bit easier to find it. It will take a bit less courage to find it. But then you need more courage to like actually act on it. And then it just goes until ultimately it doesn't take that much courage anymore. Because the voice is bigger and it fills you up more.
Okay.
I mean, I talked about in the last episode, and I'm going to bring it back again just because I quite like your opinion. That you've just said, and that voice which is like challenging to act or react to something, really puts me in conflict with this idea of whether or not we're on a path, and there is this idea of like destiny leading us, like we're ruled by destiny and whatever was going to happen, or whether we have free will, because that argument like completely contradicts us being on a path or having like a destiny in front of us, because it challenges you to act or react to something. And so it's really easy to tell that voice to just go back to its place, because I'm on a path and I know where I'm heading, and so whatever this is just meant to be, you know? Or does this make sense what I'm saying? I'm just questioning.
I'm just gonna let him say his comment
whether or
first,
not
and then
free will or destiny kind of
No. I hear you.
forces it into conflict.
No, it was a question towards you, but
Okay.
I have my own hypothesis, which will kind of tie into the previous episode anyway. But yeah.
I was gonna say, how do you know that listening to that voice isn't part of your path?
Because if you're on a path, and I'm not saying this is my opinion, I'm just challenging it. Let's say if you're on a path and whatever happens, this is destiny, this was destined to happen, and you feel like not reacting to something, or you don't want to make a change to it, was that not supposed to be? So how active do you have to be in the progression of yourself if there is like this path that we're all heading on? And I know the argument to that is like, well, maybe this was put in your path for you to be challenged. I think it puts those two things in.
Yeah, but the thing is, how certain are you of your destination? That's also the other thing.
Not at all, but is God is the question.
God might be, or God, but then how do you know what that is? Like, you might not know. Maybe it takes a bunch of challenging. But also, you don't need to just randomly challenge things. The way I was seeing it is just like checking in with your inner self to see whether something is still true for you and still good for you. I think if something is your path and you do that check, if it's actually your path, it will answer yes.
Yeah.
So I can't really see it as a bad thing for your path, regardless of like where your path is. I feel like if it's actually your path, you will get a good feeling about it because it is your path.
I feel like two things can exist at the same time, in the sense of us having this conversation is part of the path, us questioning it is part of the path. But in the midst of that, there is us exercising free will, which is further pushing us on our path. And yes, we are different beings, and going back to the art and the divine, that I think there was a previous question. You're talking that you don't necessarily have to be an artist to be connected to the divine. But I feel like we all connected to the divine in different forms.
Yeah.
And that also goes to we all walk differently, we all do this differently. But ultimately, you can argue that we're headed to the same destination, if you want to put it like that. So in terms of the path, it could be a path that you're meant to take, but at the same time, it's part of the divine, if that makes sense. It's like it's almost like we're going to condition ourselves like, yeah, I'm exercising free will right now by doing ABC, but really, we're actually just walking the path we're supposed to. But it's how we psychologically deal with it in the midst of how we move. Because we can argue that we're all motivated by different things or different nuances to the same situations that drive us there. So yeah, I think the two things do exist, and
I think there's just
I feel like it's
a little bit of conflict, and I just love this debate. Not that I don't think there's an answer to it.
Yeah.
But just this idea of things being predetermined and free will. I struggle to believe those two things can exist in the same existence.
I just think, what if the part of your free will is included in the predeterminedness?
Yeah.
So is that, how free is that free will? So did I? Was
call
I
it
It's as free as it helps you sleep.
But was I ever going to do differently? Do you know what I mean?
Who knows?
I didn't. That's.
It doesn't matter.
I want to know.
Yeah, but then that's in the grand scheme of things. Did you serve your purpose? Like, you know, I feel like that's what it comes down to. Like, in the grand scheme of things, did you serve your purpose? Because I feel like when death happens near, okay, I'm gonna take it to death. It's like when death happens near you, you can question their path or whatever, but then ultimately it's like, you know what? I'm grateful to have known them.
Yeah.
So it's like, I guess their journey in this physical form has ended. However, how did their existence actually impact me?
Yeah.
In terms of, I got it from here.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Or what did you teach me? Like, so that it's not in vain. It's like,
Yeah.
so I feel like it's as continuous as that. Like, yes, I don't know what was going through their brain. Were they on their path? Were they not? But ultimately, I guess they were on their path, because that's when it ended, and maybe it was supposed to go this way because it influenced me to do ABC or be ABC. Now, that's either negative or positive, that's unknown. But it's like, ultimately, it's like we gotta learn certain lessons as we go through life, or different stages.
Yeah.
But we get those lessons at different times. Like, someone's going to get heartbreak at a very early age because, you know what, they're going to get something different at this particular time, which is then going to shape them this way. Because actually, we can actually look as close as the collective. We all come from different types of families, different types of ethics, different everything. But we've all had different experiences, but somehow we're actually able to relate to each other. Exactly. So it's like, was it part of the path? Yes. Or was it part of us exercising free will? Because during those moments, those little details, we thought we were practicing free will individually.
Yeah.
And then somehow that same free will landed us to where we are now. Do you get what I mean?
I get what you mean.
So, well, that's how I try to process it in my brain anyway.
I feel like I've spent so much time thinking about, like, we mentioned it in the last
big topic,
episode, just free will and destiny, and those two things. And I've written loads about it as well, and I just go round and round and round. So I will exit this bit of
I
conversation.
feel like they can
momentarily.
coexist.
Yeah, I feel like they can coexist as well. Or the illusion of free will anyway, but let's move.
Or is it the illusion of it? Do we just need that? Like, do we just need the idea of free will to like get
Practically
to the
though, practically in real life, like you have to make decisions, you have to move around. You do feel like you're in control.
Do you believe everything happens for a reason?
I'm leaning more towards yes.
Oh, that's a really nice way of answering that question.
Mm.
Because it's not a firm yes. It's like I'm over here further closer to the camp of yes. Okay, cool.
Yeah. It's like, yes, but I'm open to new suggestions. I can hear them out.
It makes you sleep better at night.
Yeah.
I think, if it's
I
a
just
yes.
kind of want to broaden this conversation maybe in the comments.
Mm-hmm.
See
Oh yeah,
what
while you're
people
there,
think.
like, comment, and subscribe. Sorry.
Yeah, just kind of want to know. Yeah.
No, I think it is an interesting one, to be fair, and I feel like it's down to what helps you sleep.
Yeah, because there is no answer to it. There is
yeah.
no like factual based answer.
Yeah.
Like, oh well, actually,
Because
according to-
ultimately, we don't know.
It's opinion based. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't know,
It's
and that's
totally
what I like about it.
opinion-based.
It's just we're just sharing our thoughts.
I
But no,
love the I do love the space in between. I like
Yeah.
this is fact and this is
Yeah, it's
and this is
the
false.
mystery, yeah.
And the bit in the middle,
Yeah.
oh my god, it's just so
It's
juicy.
the finer detail.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I just like to think, like, going back to like the original point that started all this.
Yep.
I just like to think, if you're on your path, that is your destiny. And you have to, if you were to assume that that's a good path, that destiny is a good thing for you. I like to believe that path should be bulletproof in a way. Is that you should be able to ask it as many questions
Yeah.
as you can, and it should still give you the same answer.
Yeah.
Because if it's really your destiny, you can attack it and you shouldn't go off course.
So like no matter what decision you make, you're always gonna end up here anyway.
Not decision, no, because I think decisions can change your path.
maybe that's your
Like
path.
Yeah, but decisions can massively change your path. Like if I just decide to get addicted to heroin today and
But was that
Good.
always on your path?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like was that
Th-
always?
Right.
That's what I
so
mean.
deep?
Like,
But then-
that's your path.
there is an element of choice, obviously. There is just choice in life. There's a decision, there's priority, there's
Oh, like-
discernment.
I guess
Yes,
it's like
but
how in
then-
tune are you with self?
And the thing is, we're never ever gonna know that. But maybe you being addicted to heroin was always gonna happen, no matter which way around you went.
Mm-hmm.
It's
doesn't.
not.
Yeah.
But if you do take heroin, then it's like, oh, it was always supposed to be, and that's kind of where. Or are we just
To be honest-
these balls of life that just bump into each other and just wreak havoc?
To be honest, that's true. Russell Brand. I don't know if you follow him that much.
Yeah, he's got an interesting brain.
He's incredible. I think we talked a bit about.
We did talk. When did
Yeah,
that
I think
was
over message or something.
that? Yeah.
He's super interesting, but he was a heroin addict. That's why I just remembered him. And he was an addict of everything, like cocaine, heroin, sex, all sorts of stuff, as he was going through his fame and celebrity journey. But now he's like this super mature, spiritual, like just very grounded person
Yeah.
with like deep values about family and love and God. And
He got another
so it was
system.
part of his path.
Yes, it's not even that.
Part of his path
it's
to
not
be-
even that it was a
Yeah.
bad thing. Like,
Yeah, so he
that was
made it
always
out.
supposed to- yeah, of course.
But not everyone does. So that's why there's
Yeah.
the element of choice I think is important still. Because like you can't just say, I'll do whatever and I'll get back to my path. No, you might actually go off the rails. A lot of people do go off the rails.
Yeah.
We just don't hear about them
Yeah.
because they go off the rails.
Maybe that was always on their path to go for it.
Yeah, I was gonna
Maybe
say,
it
do you
was,
think
but
it's
I don't
just
know.
like
Yeah. It's just
the human
this-
judgment to say, oh, he's off their path or whatever because they do
Sure.
obviously.
Sure.
I feel like that's just
Yeah.
human
Human
perception.
values,
Yeah,
yeah.
human values. It's like, oh, you're not upholding these values that we do
Yeah.
as a normal being.
Maybe from a
You
spiritual
may-
point of view, that's exactly what I needed to do.
Yeah.
And then they were
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So no, it's ultimately we don't. Well, I don't know, but it is a funny one.
They're just. I'm not been obsessing over it over the past, but maybe a
Yeah.
little bit. But just as
How I'm
it was
roped
last
in.
mentioned, where it was just like, whoa, it's like an endless stream of of conversation, and it's actually I think it's had an impact on the way my art's gone at the minute. Because
Yeah.
obviously it's all
Interesting.
type.
Talk more
it's all
about it.
type based.
Mm-hmm.
And so that question of like free will versus destiny, there is so much to say in the middle of it because you can argue both sides really, really evenly, and it's like the one debate I've had in my own mind that I'm so equally balanced on that I feel like I could just write about it for forever and ever. And then there's just these little snippets of words or something that's just quite funny. Like the other day, I think I did one that was just like, I think I'd written about it, and I just the words like, "This is just so pointless." Like this is just a pointless debate.
Oh yeah, I think is that the one I reposted?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
And so I just wrote.
Yeah.
I just drew something pointless. And as I was doing it, I was just like, maybe things are quite futile in quite a beautiful way, where it's like just make whatever you want, do whatever you want. Within that debate, there is a lot of room for like just do whatever the hell you want, make however you want to make it. Because what's the worst that can happen? You're not gonna get bumped off the path, so you may as well just carry on. But yeah, I've just been writing just a shitload about the space in between those two.
Nice.
Yeah. Sorry, like I'm liking where your mindset is at. Based now, I'm gonna tie it back to Nima's mindset about he's just been doing. It's almost like he's pretty much exercising free will, and I feel like coincidentally, I feel like you could argue that the chain reaction, maybe that's just my brain observing. It's almost like it's that slogan. I really like it, and I'm gonna say it in full. Fuck it, why not? I feel like it's getting rebirth amongst us at different times,
Great
but
philosophy.
in different, but in different ways. Do you know what I mean? It's almost like, because I 100% agree with you. I started a whole page. I pretty much just thought, no, fuck it, why not? I'm gonna do whatever. So it's like, if it is destiny or if it is what do you call free will, I'm gonna live. And once again, it's like, you know what, Nima's kind of adopted that, but it's like, oh, sorry, I put a label on it. Sorry, I observe you, I observe your behaviors, how I feel around you. I observe all that, but like that's what I'm gonna feel like. You doing the same thing, and now the solution to that is express yourself. If think about it, because that's where you found yourself. You're just like, I'm just gonna scribble that, and just express yourself, which is, I think it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing.
It is.
It really is.
And let's embrace ourselves and embrace that. So, no, it's quite nice. It's quite nice. So yeah.
Have you found yourself kind of embracing that over the past?
Yes, but then I found myself questioning purpose, and purpose in the sense of, why am I here? Not in a depressive state, but in throughout my research, I feel like there's a pattern with almost everyone that I think, you know what, they're great at something or they're quite inspirational at something. And one of the things that keeps coming back is serving, if that makes sense. Or being of service. Yeah, that's what keeps coming back, or I don't know how to word it. But it's like, I think I've been thinking about purpose. It's like, yes, I'm enjoying it, but at the same time, like, what is my calling? What does having a calling mean? What is a calling?
Cool. Okay.
So that's what I mean. And I just find that almost everyone's just like being of service. Just like, this is interesting.
Yeah.
Everyone is talking about being of service to others and things like that. I'm like, this is interesting.
And there's a reason all the religions
talk
about focus on service too. Ultimately, there is an element of service.
Yes. So that's where I'm at. And then also, obviously, during the research, you then start evaluating. So wait, where does self sit in all this? Well, I'm an advocate of doing what I want, but what I want isn't really at the expense of someone else. And I like helping people, but only if I want.
Yeah. Sure.
But anyways,
absolutely.
So I guess I've been thinking about what is a calling, and what does it mean to have a calling. But one thing that I know that feels good, even among when observing the collective, is you know what, we all enjoy expressing ourselves.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that, even if we don't mean to, we're just gonna express ourselves. So I guess, what is your question?
Just where you sit within all of this, within all the.
Yes.
Yeah, like this week, the whole fuck it, why not thing. But just going back to what you said for a minute, I don't think we're just skirting past. So this idea of like not knowing what your purpose is, how does that make you feel? Does it make you feel?
How does it make me feel?
Like, how does it make you feel?
I can, I don't. But that's also because maybe I want to be better. So it's almost like, how do I level up from self? And this is where, coming back to the whole, where do I sit with this? As far as me, it's like I reflected on my side and I've seen, okay, this is where, and then obviously everything ties back. I'm not saying, I feel like it was a pivotal time, the 5th of November. And so when I look at the whole scope, yes, I can isolate myself. And that's usually how I sort of reflect. And then I then need to look at my circle of influence, and so I've been observing you, which is why I'm like, like it's almost like, oh, that's your season, that's your season. So it's like, okay, so then if I can observe that without judgment, as in, okay, so like what's their, how they move and what frequency are they operating in? Because chances are I'm somewhere in between, because they are my immediate circle of influence. So then I can go back and look at stuff like, all right, so where do I sit in that? And that's why it's like, especially the past couple of months, we've all somewhat been super productive, or it's a transition period, like, and that's exactly, which is where now it's like, okay, it's half time. Coming back to thinking about it as half time, it's like, all right, half time you regroup. So it's like, all right, after we regrouping, if Nima's second half just started, he's in good space, the energy's up, like, and I somehow feel the same. I told you that, yes, I was disorganized, but I'm executing. So it's like, you know what? Okay.
You guys have been really executing, by the way.
Huh?
You guys have been executing as well. So.
I mean, you do it too, so we're all in, like inspiring
cool.
each other. You know what I mean? Like, so essentially, that's where I'm at. So in terms of where I sit with the other side of things, of what's my calling, it's almost like I can look around me and be like, you know what? Maybe I'm where I'm supposed to be, going back to the path. But have I been exercising free will until now? There's nothing that I feel like I had to do ABC. No, I've been expressing myself. So it's like, no, maybe I'm supposed to be where I'm at. But the whole idea of being of service and being nice to people and this and that does really resonate with me, because I'd like to think I'm not I think I'm a decent person, or at least try to be. I have my moments exactly when my wants conflict with others. But yeah, so. One thing that I was going to ask you, Names, so I feel like I've been
Can I ask you a question? If you hold that question in mind that you have for me, I'll ask. Actually, it wasn't a question, it's a comment. This sort of questioning that you have of yourself, of like, what is my calling, what is my purpose? This is the sort of thing exactly that I mean of like checking in with your intuition. I think that's a great example of it, of like checking, where am I at? Where is the intuition at? How does this feel? Should it go somewhere else? I think exercises like that, questions like that, asking them to yourself, can unblock things. Even it might not be straight away, but it's like inquiring into somewhere. It's inquiring into your truthfulness, or into your truth.
I agree. And to be fair, I guess the
Just
solitude.
your head up and just looking around at what the environment looks like. Do you know what I mean? What's the terrain? What's this?
And then next time you look, it's a bit more open.
No, I agree. But at the same time, I feel like what helps with that is also, whenever you are looking at everything, look at it with love and gratitude as to where you're at. Because if you don't, there's going to be conflict somewhere, even within self. It's like, and then now we're going to talk about expectations, blah, blah, blah. But I feel like if you do that reflection, but you approach it with gratitude, regardless of where maybe or where your mind may be, it kind of helps. And that's what I mean about, I guess I am supposed to be here. Because it's like when I look around, whatever material or whatever things, it's like, you know what? I do like where I'm at. So I guess. But we ain't stopping here. You know what I mean? Exactly. Because that's the thing. It's like, but don't get it twisted.
Don't get comfortable.
Although I'm grateful.
Don't get too comfortable.
You gotta keep pushing.
What's next? So coming back to what I was initially going to ask you. Throughout your process of obviously being truthful to yourself, blah, 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 and maybe you need to readjust ABC, does it come with expectations?
Not really.
Okay, I hope you get the question. Yeah.
I mean, well,
guess
okay,
you see
expand on it. What sort of expectations?
expectations
Could it come
of
with?
okay. You know what? Let's say hypothetically. You know what? I think if I'm being truthful to myself, I should do the poetry and incorporate my art. Yeah, actually I will because I'm gonna generate more likes. So I'm expecting more likes than the last one because this time I freaked it with ABC. Does it make sense?
Yeah, I mean,
But that's a surface example, by the way.
sure. I mean, expectations can come up at like so many different levels. But I think when you're at the very core of the inquiry into truth within yourself, there's no expectations. It's like just an inquiry into yourself. But then as you start like building on that, and when you get into the nitty gritty of social media and all that shit,
No,
expectations can come there.
I get you.
Expectations can come there, and then maybe you
Got
think it's
triggered.
connected to the same path, but I think at the very core of it, there is no expectations. Because you're just checking. It's a question. Maybe some expectation that could come is or that has come for me maybe sometimes during that sort of questioning is an expectation of myself to be truthful when I'm not. It's like I know the gut feeling is saying this isn't right, or like it's a no, and then I expect myself to want to be at a yes, but then that becomes a conflict within myself that now I have to solve.
Yeah.
Where I have to change a no to a yes.
So essentially, the expectation comes in the form of expectation of self, not anything else.
Yeah, expecting to be truthful, expecting yourself to be truthful.
I like that answer because I feel that's quite a vulnerable response, like expecting yourself to be truthful and then not being truthful with yourself. We all want to believe
all
that
the
we are
time.
just like in a constant state of truth with ourselves, and like by doing that we can like practice what we preach, and but you think that was a really human response because it's like it's not. It's really hard to be truthful with
100%.
yourself. It's really hard to be like super
100%.
truthful with yourself.
It is hard.
Especially when we live in an age of the internet, and like just kind of bring it back to a point that I was going to mention a minute ago. It's like you asked about like likes, and the expectation of likes and that kind of stuff. I just think it's a really tricky thing, and it can put us in another state of conflict when we make art to then place in social media.
Yeah.
That is I think that's where I have a sense of conflict now, if I can be very honest about it. I don't know where my art is supposed to exist and the things that I'm making. I think I wrote that on one of the posts I did recently, which is like I don't know why I'm designing these little squares on social media. Like I don't actually know what I'm doing with this or where this is going. But I post it anyway, and then people like it, and I'm like, yes, people liked it. That has a massive conflict in my in my whole being of like, what is that? Like what?
I hear that, but
I don't think this has ever existed before in the history of mankind. Have we ever made art for square sakes?
Yeah, but I feel like in the history of art, or majority, especially if you put it on the public, it is somewhat for some sort of attention. Like, yes, you may not gauge, or not like, okay, maybe it doesn't have to be attention in a negative connotation. It could be like some sort of impact or something from it.
Keep it at what did you say? Art for, what was the first one you said? Attention.
Yeah.
Art for attention.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. I think that's nail on the head.
I don't know though. Sometimes you might just express something.
And also, I feel like there's another thing that, exactly,
and
expressing yourself, and also it's almost like a barrier of letting go of something. If that makes sense. It's the art of I'm done with this now. I'm just gonna let it go. It's also a stamp of me to say I'm done with it.
Yeah, I think the attention can come afterwards sometimes.
Yeah,
it's like It was
It's the-
created in a pure space.
Yeah.
Yes,
Then you enter
It's
this
the
like
reward-
dirty ass
the
place,
business, yeah.
and then it's got full of expectation. And then it's like it's also like alluring and seductive.
Yeah,
And then you get taste of
absolutely.
attention. You're like, oh, this shit's good.
Tasty.
Yeah, but originally you were in a very pure place.
Okay.
Now you're sniffing
Originally-
shit.
Originally, it was with pure intentions, okay?
Mm.
And then you post it for the first time. And then the little clicky clicks come up and you get some little love hearts on
Dopamine.
there. Boom. Let's not
Yeah.
kid ourselves. It's nice. It tastes real good. The second time you make art, with the intention of, I'm going to post this too,
But see,
is it still made with the pure intentions or is it art for attention? And I'm not even framing
It's a
the
good
word
question.
attention as a negative thing because attention can lead to real projects that
Yes.
really get put into interesting spaces and that really make you money, that really make you really cool contacts.
that's essentially what I was going to
So-
say.
Art for attention, I think, is exactly what the vast majority of artists are doing today because it's so hard to get attention in any other kind of ways that we're making art with the sole aim of either causing a bit of a ripple, making someone laugh or feel a certain way, or making someone stop and think for a minute. So we're like
Yeah.
peacocking.
I mean,
the whole
But
time.
it's
Yeah.
also like I feel like it also ties in with our day and age in terms of
Absolutely.
it might bring you security that you need. It might bring you the money that you
Sure.
need. It might come with other things. So it's like, you know what? Why not?
If that's your craft,
If
then
it
that's-
comes with
yeah.
it, and
Yeah.
if I've got all these paintings that I've done and I haven't shown anyone, but maybe if I do show one person, it's like, oh, they'd like them. You know, I can produce 20 of these in 3 minutes.
So,
So it then gets
So
watered down. Because,
to your argument, has art always been art for attention? Does it just have a sour ring to it these days because of where we
I don't
then
think
post
so.
it?
Still,
I don't think so.
What do you
Like,
think?
Because sometimes you just create art because something needs to come out of you.
Yeah,
It's like, something just
Yeah.
needs to come out of you, and so that's the reason.
yeah,
Like I don't even care about the attention.
okay.
yeah,
It's just like I need to express something.
Yeah.
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 How
Even
often
just-
do you think that you make or you photograph? Like, how often do you think you capture things and intentionally decide not to post it because it's just for you?
Oh, see, this is a nice question. As a photographer, that's how I started.
Yeah.
I was just shooting for me. And it's also why I came into the Instagram game late, because I never really considered, it never even crossed my mind in any
Cool.
whatever. It
Yeah.
was just like, you know what? Hence why I had so much in the chamber, because it was like, oh yeah, I could post this.
Yeah,
I
your backlog and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So one of the reasons why I thought I'd post them, it's also like, it makes me feel good. Even if I'm just scrolling on my phone, I can go on and just be like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
I really like this photo, even just for me. And it also ties in with maybe certain pacts that I make with myself. It's like, you know what, I'm gonna do ABC, so therefore it's kind of like fasting.
Yeah.
So I told myself I'm gonna post at least 3 times a week, and I've been doing that since the year started. But outside anything, it's like now it also trains me to like, identify which was nice. It's not, it's outside of who's gonna like it, who's gonna do whatever. It's like, okay, these are photos that I took. It's also pushing me because I do enjoy it.
Yeah.
So it's like encouraging me.
Feedback
Exactly.
loop, positive feedback.
Exactly. It's a
Okay.
positive feedback to myself. So whatever comes with it, that comes with it. Cool.
Okay.
But as far as anything else, and I'm also an advocate for people expressing themselves. So I can't say that and then be the guy who's just always got his cards there, not essentially
Yeah.
practicing what you preach. And also being consistent with yourself feels good, especially also, once again, cycle of influence. All the homies are doing something, not that you do it because of them, but it also gives you courage and fuel
Yeah.
to be like, oh no, I guess I'm not weird.
Yeah,
Shoot, because I
yeah.
wanted to
Yeah.
do this,
Yeah.
so I can
Definitely.
further improve myself.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
feel like it's a two-way street, even
Okay.
with the art. Yes, it is for attention, but at the same time, there's other various reasons. But
Yeah.
it's the attention that actually holds a lot more value based on our perceptions and the human
100%.
form.
Yeah, absolutely agree with that.
I just clocked something. It could be your own attention as well, that like the art wants. Like if you think of it, if it's just like something that wants to come out of you, or something wants to come alive, maybe it just wants to be seen by you originally. It wants to be seen. So it's a sort of attention.
It wants to be seen.
It
Not
wants to
you
be
want
seen.
it to be seen.
Yeah.
It wants to be seen, but just
Even from the pure place, you know, that
Yeah.
it's something just wants to be seen. If you just captured something within yourself or outside in the world.
yeah.
An example
Yeah.
of that, actually. It's me posting my car. It had nothing to do with getting attention from anyone. But it was just like, I just wanted to see my, like, you know, like, I can't explain it. It wasn't for anyone.
Yeah.
Because remember, like, I had issues with that, like, in the sense of, I don't want it to come across like I'm flexing because I'm not really that guy. Yes, I like nice things, but I'm
You're
not gonna.
so that person, because when you
Damn.
first got it, I wanted to take a photograph of your car. I wanted to post it to be like, my friend drives a Mustang. But then
I
felt
did that,
like
like
you didn't want, like I was really conscious.
I
like,
was
you
so
wanted-
awkward. It was like,
I feel like you wouldn't have liked that. So I just had this archive of your car on my phone. And
I
was
literally
like,
did exactly what you said.
like
You are so that person. Like you are the most ultimately modest person ever. He drives a beast of a car. But like, I think all of us have like 50 initial shots of this car, and none of us posted it because we were like, no, he's gonna make the first move.
at least let me just get over it first. Do it, and then I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm ready. No, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I guess, so yeah, I 100% agree with you. Because like, I feel like the car just wanted to be there. Like, I've had other cars, and I've posted snippets of them on the stories, just because even when I'm flicking through the story, it's like, oh yeah. And I like a soundtrack, so yeah.
Yeah.
The soundtracks that accompany those Mustang shots.
You know they were carefully
Right.
picked when.
Oh yeah.
I was in the room with you once when you were putting a story. You were putting like a story together. No, we were walking through Liverpool, and you were putting something on your story. I've never seen a process take so long. Like you picking the song, and then you finally finesse the song, and then you were finding the snippet, and you were like, "It's not quite right."
Yeah,
You
'cause
weren't
the
doing
beat
that for
has to-
anyone but yourself. Like no one else would have noticed that. But it was
Exactly. Once again, it's for
I
me.
noticed.
Like whenever.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
thanks, Nima. To be fair, I've been posting your stories, and I'm like, ooh, I have just a soundtrack for that. You know that.
Because sometimes I'll post something on my story with a soundtrack on it, but then you repost it with a different track on it. That hurts my feelings.
No, sometimes it's the same.
Change my
That's
track.
why I've started including songs in the actual post that I do, so
Yeah.
like, no one can change it.
Like,
This is my
you know
sound.
what? I think it also adds a bit of personality, and
Sure.
music is very great at translating someone's feelings
Yeah.
Yeah,
in
yeah.
a strange way. Because
In a
I
deep
don't know,
way.
like like when I say strange, I mean in a dope way. It's just
Yeah.
I feel like music does that, and also it's dependent on how you receive it. If that makes sense, like
Absolutely.
how's
Yeah,
your
sure.
mood? Because
Yeah.
so I think it's
How does this genre make you feel? Like,
Yeah.
how does this artist make you feel?
yeah,
And so on and so forth.
yeah.
For
Speaking
example,
of
The
that,
Weeknd annoys me, so...
He does. I
You
don't know.
s-
Yeah, I sent you both the
artist-
album.
Yeah, you sent me his albums. I'm still yet to click on it.
Yeah.
Really, really grateful for the album. Really don't like his voice.
That's
but
crazy.
Thank you so much. That's crazy.
Is it different? Is it different from his regular voice?
No, it is his
No.
regular voice.
She doesn't
I
like
don't
his voice
regular
whatsoever.
voice.
Do you like
Which I don't
Michael
really
Jackson?
understand. Exactly.
He's not Michael Jackson.
Who said he's Michael Jackson? I just asked
Why
the
are we
question.
bringing Michael Jackson into
I think
this?
they could be compared vocally.
Oh!
No. Names, no, that's not what it's called.
Leave him
He's on his own.
You let him
I'll
in the
say.
dirt. No. And the thing is, like, in
I-
his first couple of tracks, he didn't just sound like that. And he was like, I think I could make money off sounding like Mickey J. No, I don't like it.
Oh, so he's creating art for attention.
He
He's
is
always-
out for attention, I think.
No, but
Did
he's
he do
very.
something to his face as well? Like, what was
In
was
that cover, yeah, the cover looks stupid as hell. That's the first reason I put off listening to the album for like a year at least. Just because of the album cover. I was like, what the hell is the album cover? But then I was like, okay, music's pretty good actually.
Yeah,
I
I just think the voice is so non-organic. I don't appreciate it at all.
Is it
Anyway,
Fair enough.
it's just my opinion. Very talented, some would say. So,
So you didn't tell me what you think of Michael Jackson's voice.
love Michael Jackson's voice.
Ah.
Adore Michael Jackson's voice.
Okay.
One of a kind. One of one.
Okay.
There's no space for two.
Why am I sounding like an owl?
Little
Yeah.
owl gif here.
Yeah. No, we don't need a gift of an owl. Like just an owl, just sitting on my face. But nah, like since we're on the topic of music, like yeah, well you know how we do it over here. Even though this conversation can go for hours, because I like catching up with the homies.
Yeah, man, I could talk for hours with you guys.
Sorry,
Yeah,
quick one. See the people you live with.
yeah.
Are they artists of some sort?
So one of them and his girlfriend have just started producing music,
Oh, cool.
and yeah, they're doing good. And then she's like writing lyrics and he's producing beats, and so yeah. But they're not in creative careers, but they just help create music, which is
They're creative
pretty cool.
people.
Great people. And another one, Seb. He studied music at uni, and he plays the piano, and he's not like too actively involved in the creation of it, but he's very well versed in music. So yeah, me and him just like talk a lot about music. Other guy not as much, but yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, now I'm trying to find the dynamics in there. Like,
Yeah.
sorry,
Yeah.
I'm still trying to pick it up. Because
I just find inspiration literally everywhere though,
Yeah.
and I'm quite independent and self-initiative with it. Like most of my art happens by myself in my room. All of my art actually happens by myself in my room.
you know, it's funny because
A little pause. All of it.
no, because I was thinking, you know, we were do not steal this name, but we were gonna call Slang Collective bedroom art homies. Because majority of all our art is created in the bedroom, like all individually. So we're gonna call it bedroom art homies. Then we thought it sounded rather weird.
Bedroom art homie.
Exactly. If you don't really
We make
exist.
art in
Smooth jazz flicks.
I thank God we didn't, because we would have just went sideways.
Because we
like.
would be sitting here right now. Bedroom art, homies. The
Segues.
710.
Sorry, I'm sorry if you know. I'm gonna
Explicit
take that. Yeah, thank God we didn't call it that. But still, don't steal it because we're gonna use it some after this reception.
Don't
Probably
think we're gonna
not.
use it. Take it. Say it.
Music.
Music. Okay, so music. I've listened to tons of music recently, but one person has just like blown me away. Opened up a whole new part of me that like I just hadn't discovered. It was always there.
Okay, I wonder who this is.
I've
I
already-
know who this is.
I've already-
I already know who this is.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay, Lana Del Rey.
It's
Do
just
not
like
sleep
her
on
voice.
Lana.
Her voice is
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like.
Man,
She just performed in London as well.
I know I missed it. Yeah,
like
News.
I couldn't get a ticket.
How were the tickets expensive to see?
No, like I literally missed out because
Oh, okay.
I didn't like.
do you know when I rated
Yeah.
her? I rated her after that movie. She did a soundtrack to, is it Gatsby?
She did.
Did she? Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I haven't seen
oh
that.
that
Have you not
soundtrack.
seen Gatsby? You would love that film.
Yeah.
You know?
Like,
really
oh,
like
cool.
it.
I really love the soundtrack.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if but
Oh wait,
yeah,
are we butchering this? Was it her?
it has to be, because remember it just stood out.
Yeah.
We're not. Don't
Because
say
we can't
that.
cut this out if it's not her.
It has to be. If it's not, oh come
Do
on.
a correction.
Whoever it was.
Asterisk. It was not Lana
Lana
Del
Del Rey. Where did this come from?
Where did it start? So before we started recording, I was talking about the playlist I have
Yeah.
for London, of just everything that's stuck in my head since London. And yeah, like the third song that appears, or the fourth song, is a Lana Del Rey song. So it started very early
Yeah.
in my move in London. First song that, actually, no. The very, very first time I heard her was on someone's Instagram post, actually. So this is a good reason why you should put music on your Instagram post.
It's very
Because
true.
you can show,
Yeah,
you can
yeah.
introduce people to good music. But yeah, it was the song Video Games by Lana. And just that chorus, I was like, oh my god. Like, wow.
Sure, what's
That's
your name?
really moving.
Who that is?
Who makes that? Like, beautiful chorus. So that was my very first encounter with Lana Del Rey. And then
I feel like he's blushing.
Yes.
I've never had a celebrity crush, but
Yeah.
Nah,
she is
I'm
top
kidding.
notch.
just her music. She's risen up to my like top 3
Yeah.
Wow.
out of nowhere,
Wow.
like within months of like top 3 musicians of all
That's
time
amazing.
for me.
I really like that. So if you were to go with your favorite Lana track to put on the why are we not recording this playlist, which one?
Sounds like he's got a lot.
I
Like,
do have a
how
lot.
do I pick one?
So
I do
How
have
do
a
I
lot.
do this?
I mean, if I had to choose one, it probably would be video games.
Yeah,
Probably would be
it
video
is a
games.
track. Like it is.
But Cinnamon Girl, also amazing. So many amazing ones. The first song that appeared on my London playlist was A&W. And that's an amazing song.
Okay, I don't think I know.
A&W is on the most recent album.
Oh, I don't think I've heard her most recent
You
album.
should.
Okay.
She's good, but I feel like when I had a moment of discovering her on that Great Gatsby album, since then, there's been somewhat artists that can talk to her, like they can see it on the table.
What do you mean?
I mean, as in like artists that have very, like, as in voice-wise, they're competing with her. Like, in terms of the art they're making,
Yeah.
it's like, ooh, who do I have space for?
So
Okay.
who,
It's
yeah.
quite big.
Yeah,
Is it a limited
Quite
space that you have in your...
yeah, 2 at a time. I'm joking. I'm joking.
You gotta free up
No,
that
no,
cash,
no.
bro.
What did you say?
No, it's like, yes, there is, but I feel like it's almost like, okay, no, let me put it like this. I heard her, and then let me say, I'd hear different songs, like, oh, is that her? Then I go check the track, I'm like, oh, it's someone else. And then I hear another one, oh, is it? Oh, it's someone else.
Yeah.
But then I'm not saying that she's not great, because she's very dope. I know her voice is
Yeah,
up.
voice
Like,
is
for example,
incredible.
have you heard of Snow Allegra?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Yes, her
Did you
voice.
send me her?
I did.
Yeah.
Or Tiny Desk.
Yeah. Kind of.
Oh, I haven't seen
It's
it.
amazing.
Yeah.
I
once
discovered it
again-
the
And
other
then
day.
Prince
So.
came around here the other day when I was playing it.
Yeah.
This was you sent me the.
Because I sent Prince too.
You sent it to me. I listened to it. Totally ignored your message.
Yeah,
I
you
was
did.
just caught up in the moment. Prince came
Standard.
round and then was like, "Did Nima put you onto this?" And I was like, "Oh shit, no reply to Nima." Yeah, that's no like
Oh,
what's
cool.
going on.
Interesting. Funny how.
It's a really nice tiny desk as well because it's not perfect
amazing.
at all. Like there's a lot of imperfections in it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of notes that are slightly off, and it makes us so human.
But see, I feel
so,
like Lana Del Rey has that as well. But not necessarily. No. I feel like in a different way. Not necessarily certain things are not perfect or whatever. But I just mean like there's something relatable about her that makes her human. So it's a strange way to.
To me, it's also
to
like the
put it.
songwriting and like the lyricism
Yeah.
of her work as well. It's not just the voice.
So her
Yeah,
songwriting,
no, yeah.
I absolutely love. I think she's like,
Yeah, me too.
she's like a pin-up girl looking goth. Like her lyrics are actually like really quite upsetting. Like some of her tracks are like,
Yeah.
whoa, but she's being very real. The
Exactly.
one thing, if I were to make one comment, because I did make a comment about the weekend before and his voice being slightly construed. If you listen to what she sounded like before she was signed, it's like a totally different. It's like a totally different voice.
Ooh, art voice.
And then
action.
post signing, she didn't get signed with
Or
that
it's
voice.
vocal training though, maybe.
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah.
But when I hear a difference in a voice, the cynicism in me is always like, are you?
But is it a good difference?
It's a great difference,
So
but
that's a
the
good-
cynicism in me is just like, are you forcing your voice?
But that's
I
happened
just question.
to Gambino as well.
But see, I feel like is that the same thing that applies to Weekend? Because I
yeah.
really love the trilogy.
Yeah.
Like, but I haven't really followed him
On
since.
top-
I feel like his voice hasn't changed that much. The Weeknd's. It's always been.
He's a fan. Okay, I
Oh,
got
I'm not the biggest Weeknd fan.
Yeah,
He makes
yeah.
mostly fuckboy music, but he has his place, I think.
Okay.
Oh god, it is. You just nailed it. Yeah, it's football music.
It is.
But yeah, Lana Del Rey. My goodness.
Yeah.
She's incredible.
She's
She's
dope,
incredible.
Songwriting though,
Yeah,
honestly,
yeah, yeah.
I think that's what got me, because it's not just like the voice. Because a lot of people have
Does
great
she write
voices.
herself?
I assume she does.
Ooh.
Because one thing
assume
about
she
majority
I
of these
assume she
artists,
does too.
does Beyonce write her songs?
I don't know. But Beyonce's
Probably
like
used to. I
probably
not.
used to. Probably used to.
She
It's
used
like
to.
two semi-negatives.
Exactly. Like it's a positive, but still,
It's like a light no. Like
it's like she did, but not
We had
really.
2 out of 10.
Yeah, but like that's where I
I feel
get
like she must.
conflicted.
Not Beyonce, but
I'm
Lana.
not, yeah, I feel like some, and I'm not even trying to disrespect them.
she, apparently, yeah, she does write her own songs.
Okay, props. But yeah, she's good.
Her
She
songwriting
does, yeah, Jesus.
reminds me a bit of, in a tiny way, but like it's way more emotional, but of Archie Monkeys, weirdly enough.
Oh my god, I know what you mean. I know what you
Interesting.
mean. It's
Yeah.
moody.
It's like moody, but also just the way she explores the themes in a topic, or like even in the song, the lyrics. You don't expect it sometimes, and like the way it just curves like around the words and the emotions. It's like playful.
Yeah, yeah.
It's playful, and it's just surprising. And Alex Turner also does that, I think.
Oh, like
in Arctic
Kanye.
Monkeys.
I'm joking.
I didn't know how to respond. I was like, what? Yeah.
Kanye's a different conversation. I love Kanye.
You know what? Oh, that was so loud, sloppy. I'm
So
sorry.
loud. No,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry to the audience. See, I'm sorry. But yeah. Oh yeah. So what was yours?
Oh, don't come to me next. My song of the week. Oh god, I'm gonna do this without picking up the phone. I don't know. Oh, okay. So I've been listening to.
She had a whole conversation.
I know, I really did. I was like, Money. Jid or JID? He's got a name like GIF, and people say
Jid.
GIF. Do you know what I mean? Like,
GIF.
people do say GIF. It is GIF, but people have said GIF before.
Oh, right,
people
sorry.
It's like
say
an
GIF,
animated GIF. They call it GIF.
Oh, I always say GIF for that, yeah.
Thank you.
GIF.
GIF? Cool.
Yeah.
Jid or JID? He says
I
both.
think it's
Yeah,
Jid.
both. It's,
Oh, that's true. He does say JID
He
himself.
does.
So it's
called
both.
Jid.
Yeah, but JID
We've
sounds.
had this conversation.
JID sounds way better.
Does it? Jid.
Jid.
Isn't there a crazy reason? Like his grandma said he was jittery.
Jittery.
Yes,
When he was a
that's
kid.
right. Yeah, well, that's according to him in one of the interviews.
Yeah.
We had
But
the-
since you mentioned that he does himself mention JID in his lyrics,
Yeah.
then I think it's fair.
I mean, it's-
you
I
can call him
think
what
he
you
just
want.
needs to pick a lane. He is my track of the week. I have come for every artist that we've mentioned today.
Oh,
Jid, we love you.
what song?
Pick a lane. Money.
Oh, Money. All right, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really like it. Really playful. But I've just been bashing his album because I kind of felt wrong that like Off the Zoinkies was my main go-to.
I could not believe that. I could not believe that.
Why couldn't you believe it?
I thought she already knew about Jid.
No.
Oh, right.
No.
Oh,
Like that,
right.
but-
Yeah.
See,
No.
exactly
But
why.
we're all beginners at some stage, okay? Mine just happens to be later than the others.
Yeah.
Okay. Money. Really like it as a track. But
Oh.
there's been a lot of music in the past couple of weeks, mainly spurred by you actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you sent me Lana Del Rey, and then I sent you something back, and then there was like a ping pong match
yeah.
of music sharing.
Oh, you think you can
Sounds
music
lovely.
suggest? Well, no, watch this.
That's what it was. Oh, that's a nice song. Yeah, so there's been a lot of music this week. It's been really nice. Been a lot of YouTubing,
Yeah.
which immediately has like a different algorithm to Spotify, so the journey's been slightly different. But yeah,
It's a good algorithm.
yeah, it's a fantastic algorithm. Jid, Money, top notch.
Yeah, I had one or a couple, but then since I did a bit of driving, I just shuffled the playlist and started, oh, this song's been a while, oh, this song's been a while, oh, this song's been a while. But since I mentioned Kanye, I have a song in mind. And you also mentioned that and you made singers. I'm thinking, oh, actually, I do like that song. Which is,
Go on.
what are you going to say?
Guess it.
No, my track of the week, because Lana wasn't my track of the week. Well, my track of the week.
What was he gonna
No. I'm not gonna say, but it's Kanye. So I'm just gonna see if it's gonna be
What,
by
Kanye?
any chance the same song that I had in mind by Kanye.
Okay.
Oh, no, it's highly unlikely because I'm going to...
Rude.
You wouldn't get this one.
No!
You just said yours was Lana. You ain't getting it.
Lana, go on though.
No, highly unlikely, only because my reason for this song is the same reason why I like it and I don't like it. And you know what song it is. Have I said it? Have I used it
Oh
already?
my god, so many times.
Have I said Wolves already?
Yeah, no, you've not said Wolves already.
Wolves.
Oh, sorry, no, just to me.
You do love that song, I know you do.
Yes, Wolves.
He loves and hates this song. I think he
Yeah.
loves to hate
Oh,
this
you
song.
hate that random part. What is it?
It's
Oh, and which verse?
Oh yeah.
I feel like there's an artist who does the most on the song.
Oh yeah.
Anything else is just right, but they just ruin the song by doing the most.
And you ruined that song by pointing it out.
Oh, now you hear it.
I now every time I hear it, I'm just like,
You can just choose
I'm
to
just
ignore it.
bad. It's like,
And then there's even more after that.
Yeah,
It's
there's
like,
so much.
okay, no, I can deal with it bad, but the fact they've gotta go, no. So it just takes it too far. But that song just like.
You can
I
kind of
don't
see
know.
what the producers do in the studio as well. Where it doesn't
It's
end.
like,
It's
oh,
like,
bad. Like, no, we didn't say go on. Like, no, we're saying bad. This is... Yo, if this dude ever hears this, I mean, no disrespect. He's
yeah,
a decent
seriously,
artist.
seriously.
Have you heard the new J Hus Drake song? That's like going big, getting big.
No.
Is it new? I think Renee showed me this song.
I think it's newish. J Hus and Drake. It's called Who Told You. It's very catchy.
Yes. It's
But-
Wait a
TikTok
minute.
track, isn't it?
Who
No.
told you Batman don't dance?
Yeah.
Wait a minute, is that the song? Because I feel like I heard a Drake snippet whereby
Yeah.
I started thinking, nah, this has to be fake.
It's real.
So that's why that's why
and
I remember.
he's just, even on that,
He's
just
doing
sounded
too
like,
much.
It's like, the first,
why I
like the
remember
first
that.
couple of bars was like, decent. And I was like, no, just.
He just
what's
goes
it do?
on
You
for
should
too
just
long.
like- and then the accent just,
Oh, don't.
the accent is just everywhere after that.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
wait, nah, this has to be AI. That's what I just thought,
Stop.
nah, it's AI pretending to be.
The accents that man does are awful. Like he'll come to the UK and be here for like 3 weeks, and then all of a sudden he's speaking like he's from Kennington. Like I can't, I just can't be arsed with this man and his accents. But the song itself,
It's a bop,
It's a bop.
I think. J.S. killed it.
Yeah.
Very catchy hook.
whoever produced that, we've got to give some
Yeah,
credit
great-
because they
great
know the
production.
current climate we're living in. So they know each snippet of that can be used
Yeah.
to make reels and TikToks and
That's
people will
true.
dance. Like it's it works
know,
very well.
Condition wise, like I feel like I've conditioned myself to like American hip hop. I don't really listen to English dudes that much,
I used to be
except
the
for
same.
a selected few.
I'm mostly
Dave
the same.
is that dude because actually I
Yeah,
can
exactly the
follow
same.
what he's saying. Like you just said, like the J House song. I don't think I'm gonna listen to it because.
But J.S. isn't lyrical, it's just like vibes. Dave is lyrical.
Okay, maybe I just like lyrical.
I'd be
dudes.
so upset if I was J Hus and I heard that comment you just made. He's just vibes.
Great vibes.
Oh, that makes it so much better.
Music
You put great in front. Yo, I don't want people looking for me.
Music to put on at a barbecue or something, you know, like
Oh yeah, true.
So upset. Is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
some Dave songs you can't put on at a barbecue. Like you gotta sit down and listen to that.
Yeah.
Shit. It's like
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
Kendrick as well.
But see,
Yeah.
to be fair, Stormzy, I feel like I like select. Now we're just breaking down English music, but with Stormzy, there's a new song that he dropped. I like the bar. It's like something about. It's materialistic anyway. It's got to do with buying something and then seeing someone else wearing it and then not wearing it. Because I used to be that guy.
Yeah.
So I resonate to that bar, but I feel like he is the Drake of the UK.
Did you used to be that guy?
Yeah.
Fair.
You don't like it anymore.
A single other person wearing this.
Yeah, because if you see someone say, oh damn it, someone else found the connect. I can't use this connect no more. But I just feel like Stormzy. I feel like Stormzy is almost like he's the Drake of the UK. I feel like he can't miss.
I barely ever listened to him like properly.
Yeah,
Neither have I, you know.
yeah.
Not
I
not
feel like-
properly, so I can't say that he's the.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I wouldn't know.
just in status, is he the Drake of the UK?
I feel like I can give him that comfortably.
I mean,
But I'm not necessarily okay. Wait a minute. I'm
Fair
not
enough.
necessarily comparing him as in like okay.
because Drake's quite artificial.
Yeah,
so,
no.
Yeah.
Like not in that aspect. In the sense of he can't miss and he can get in any room.
Notoriety. Do you mean like his status? His...
But Drake misses sometimes, as we were just discussing.
But-
J Hus song.
Drake misses, it becomes a meme,
Yeah.
and it still
Then
works
he
out.
still
Like that's
didn't
what
miss somehow, yeah.
So he
Yeah,
still
that's
didn't
true,
miss because it's
that's
like,
true.
wait, did he mean like that's what I mean
That's
about?
Always
so
finds its
true.
way.
Yeah, it'll find its way.
Bad
It's
marketing
like,
is
you
good
know,
marketing kind of.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean about Storms. I feel like he can't miss. And once again, it's like with Storms, I feel like he's gonna get the best producers. He's gonna get the
Yeah,
best
yeah.
engineers. So that's what I mean about the whole camp.
Yeah.
It's got it A1, and that's what it's like with
Can we throw
Drake.
Kano in the mix when we talk about that though?
But see, no, that's a different realm. It's like now saying, oh, but what about Nas? Like that's a different
Well,
realm.
Kano and Nas seem.
Yeah, no, like that's what I mean.
Oh, okay.
I've
Like, you know what I
I've
mean?
never listened to
like
Kano.
we can't put
Oh, you
Kano,
should.
we can't put Kano in the same field
Yeah.
as them just yet. I'm not saying. Here's
Well, I
the
don't
thing.
think Stormzy's Drake then.
No,
But you
I
said
feel
you haven't
like-
listened to Stone.
No, I'm not talking about the material. I'm not talking about the material.
That was a Nima shut the
Bringing balance.
Sorry.
Why don't you shut the fuck up?
Making sure it's a fair comment, you know.
But you don't know him.
No, I'm not talking lyrical content. I'm talking. Okay, no,
Yeah.
let's look at the camps. Yeah, I guess I'm talking about the camp because you know what, Kano, as dope as Kano is, you might sometimes be like, oh, to be fair, I'm vibing with what he's saying, but not necessarily the beat or like this little, which is what could happen to the likes of Nas, but whereas Drake, almost every beat is intentional and it works out.
Yeah.
Almost everything he does works out, and that's how I feel about Stormzy. But I'm not diminishing Stormzy to say they spit the same material. It's not the same material,
Yeah.
but how it's served up, none of them can miss. Doesn't matter who cooked the dish.
Okay.
As long as they had a helping hand on the dish, it's gonna win.
Yeah.
So
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily like they both
Well, I
make
feel like I
last
can't
cakes.
comment anymore because this bitch is saying I don't know what I'm talking about.
It just invalidates.
I just repeated your own comment here.
It's like, do you even have a say in this? I'm
Just
joking.
mirror.
It was the
But
bit
no.
at the end where you're like, you said you listened to something.
Yeah.
No?
We were both on that same side for that. And
Then
then
you lost
suddenly you were Stormzy expert.
I was just trying to tiptoe over
Yeah,
it.
but no, like I guess I'm
Sorry.
saying big ups to
Sorry.
Stormzy. Like he's that guy. But we just went on this one discussing English
Stormzy.
hip hop.
Yeah, I like that.
But it was really just me on my own. Really, just them two arguing. No, you don't listen. No, you don't. What do you know about that? So it's
Because then I
just
didn't
me.
know what to say, and I was like, he probably is.
Yeah. To be fair, I think we need Christopher for that because he probably yeah.
Good knowledge.
Christopher, comment below, please.
Oh, he's got to come on the podcast.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
He's one of the homies that. There's a
Yeah.
whole gang of them.
I
that
know.
have been actually. I was going to start listing everyone, but no. And you've been twice. Three
Thrice.
times.
3 times now.
Okay.
Privileged.
You know how it's once, twice, thrice. What's the fourth one?
Is it?
Quart. I don't know.
It just feels like it should rhyme.
Just feels like it should end.
That part, yes.
For
I was
us.
actually, before we end, Neems,
Mm.
do you want to tell us what your podcast is about? Like the premise, just a quick summary for people to go check it out if they're curious.
Yes, I interview artists, creatives, innovators from any field about their stories, journeys, worldviews, backgrounds. That's like the official description. That's pretty much what it is.
Yeah.
The interview-based podcast, mostly on creatives and people that are doing interesting, cool stuff.
That's our new elevator pitch. We're going to use that. No, I'm joking.
Just gotta write a
Should
description.
have got a pen.
Gotta write a
It's
description.
really concise. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But,
Think Nima podcast, YouTube, Spotify, SoundCloud.
Do you want more work?
Just go on my Instagram.
Just gonna list some like credits coming down.
If you just go on my Instagram, it's all there.
Yeah, but no, Holmes, thanks for
Thank you so much.
joining us, and it's been real as always.
Yeah.
And you're in good spirits in comparison
Thank
to
you
the
to
last
both.
ambush.
Yes. Much
And,
love.
Peace, love, and wisdom.
Peace, love, and wisdom, everyone.
We out.